Architecture is awesome. It is an awesome, awesome, awesome field. It is one of the most creative and satisfying jobs that you can ever have to be involved in architecture. Every day is a different thing, right? That's one of the things I love about architecture. There's always something that's different about how the project is going together. Welcome to the architecture department at Penn College. Here you can see this is our jury wall, and all of these different projects that you see here, one way or another, were made by students, from the signage to the projects that are on the wall. And of course, when you would start out here, you might not be starting with as complicated a projects as the ones that you see here. So for instance, the projects that you're seeing on the wall here by the door, these were by the fourth year students in their design studio, where they're really looking at how do you incorporate all different kind of systems into the building, and obviously they're doing very, very large building projects. These are fourth year students, so they're really looking at things like you're seeing here, figuring out how do I have safe exiting from the building, making sure everything's working the way it's supposed to, really working at having clear organization in a really large, complicated kind of building project. There was a study model that the student did on the 3D printer. So here you can see the study model that was when he was figuring out kind of the concept of what this building was going to be about, how it would work. You can see he was just thinking about, stacking and staggering of layers. And you can see how that kind of followed through into the final design of the project. Now, these projects the students have worked on for a long period of time, so it's not like you're going to have that kind of outcome on these projects in a short period of time. This one is a project like from an early graphics class where you were learning to do model building. So this would be one of the first model building projects that you might have, where you get to try and design something using certain parameters. That you have to have so much open space, so much closed space. You can only use so much material, that sort of thing. The best thing about architecture program at Penn College is that you get to be in smaller classrooms where you're really working on the projects. Most of our classes are set up so that you have a piece of theory, and then you get to spend time actually applying that into some kind of project that then helps you build your skills. And sequentially through the semesters, you get to go deeper and wider and learn more of those skills as you're headed through. Well, welcome to one of the design studios. We have two main design studios here at Penn College. Four open 24/7, where you can swipe your card to be able to get in and work at any time. You can see we have the computer stations that are there, that people can do all of their work on those computer stations. And then that area is set away from here, where we have the dirty workspace, so to speak, where we have all kinds of cutting and gluing and chopping going on. We also see we have some MakerBots that are set up in the corner here. We also have a makerspace here at Penn College that people can be able to go and use the equipment that is down in the makerspace. And in addition, in the cupboard here, we have a laser cutter. So many of the models that you might see around here are set up so that they can cut out the pieces on here, which goes a lot faster than doing it by hand. So this is the beginning of students in the third year design studio, where they're working on a project. And they're just in the beginning conceptual idea stage about what their space could look like, what the building could look like. So these kind of little models you hear are just things to come up with ideas about what the space and what the context could look like. In all probability, the building won't look exactly like any of those things, but these can be very, very helpful in just giving people ideas about, well, what could I do with this space and with these items, and to meet the requirements of the client. And so besides the models, you also see a lot of little hand drawings that are done here, and a bunch of studies. So all those little pieces of trace paper that you see there are some ideas for how you might be able to start putting things together in your project. So this is a context model, and so typically the whole class will work together to create the context. And then the part that's black there was actually the site. And so each individual student would build their own model that was of their project that goes into that spot. So that way you could have your whole context of everything put together. In the jury room space, this is a place where students can work collaboratively if they're on a team and you need to be able to figure out how you're making your project work out. You can be able to pin up things on the wall. You can sit at the table here. You can rearrange the chairs however you need to. And it's also a place where what we mean by the jury is that you're going to put your stuff up and talk about it with your faculty, with your fellow classmates, and get feedback about how your ideas are coming along. And when you're at the end of a project and you have you're completely done with your project, you do a presentation. You would put up your posters, your whatever other things that you made, like if you made a model, that kind of thing. You put that up on the walls here, PowerPoint presentation, and then you would actually deliver that. Typically, we have people who come in for the juries who are professionals in the field around in the area, and they join in, and you get to talk about what it is that's so fabulous about your project. And this is a really awesome experience, and it makes you so that you learn to be able to have a lot of practice explaining to people what it is you're thinking. At Penn College, we have a really good blend of our classes between not only some of the theoretical things, because you have to be able to imagine and understand how concepts fit into things over time and across different disciplines, but also very, very solid foundational items so that as soon as you're graduating, you can actually walk in an office and you know what a set of working drawings are, and you can be able to be good on the job from the first day that you're there. In the end, it's all about what are you interested in. And here at Penn College in the architecture department, we're here to help you learn how to love the profession of architecture. And I've seen that joy and love change people's lives in our program over the 31 years I've been here, where people went from just kind of skating along through life to just being really excited and driven. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to see people get excited about architecture. Thank you so much for coming on this virtual tour with me today. And I hope to see you sometime here at Penn College, that you can actually come and see our classrooms in person. And we look forward, if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out to me or any of the other faculty. And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.